Back to the channel. In this video we're going to talk about crypto winners and losers. Now make sure you stick around because this video may change your total perspective on the cryptocurrency space and can completely transform your journey, right? Watching this video is a difference between exiting the market at maybe $10,000 or maybe $100,000 or maybe even millions. So make sure you watch this video till the end. Now, the first thing I want to start off with are the main asset classes that your traditional investor or funds, hedge funds, etc. investing. Now, number one is shares, also known as equities. For example, Tesla, Amazon, Apple, etc. The list goes on and on. Then we have bonds, known as fixed interest stocks. People typically look to bonds when there's a recession or the market is down, but they want a safe place to put their money. We also have property, right? So everybody watching this is familiar with property, and this is probably one of the most sought after asset classes that most non-traditional quote unquote investors end up acquiring, right? Because you need a place to live. Also, we have commodities. So this is gold, gas, etc., silver, copper, and the list goes on, right? And then we have cash, right? So cash, believe it or not, yes, is also a quote unquote asset class, right? But let's talk about it, right? And obviously the elephant in the room is a crypto, right? Where does crypto fit into this list? And this is where things really get exciting, because if you look at most, even if you look at JP Morgan, you look at most of these major funds, most of these major banks, and more astute investors, they are really looking at, especially smaller venture firms, etc. They're really looking at crypto as the next big the next big thing. Some people are just seeing this purely as a technology play. There's others that are seeing this as a financial play, for example, in terms of an asset class that they can hold on to hedge against inflation, etc., and much more. Now, this is where things get exciting, right? Because at this point, guys, I don't think the discussion becomes whether this is here to stay or whether this is, it's not going to work anymore. I believe that discussion is long gone. Quite clearly, this is here to stay. And if you want further clarification of that, firms like JP Morgan are buying. Tesla bought Bitcoin. As you know, MicroStrategy, big buyer into in Bitcoin, for example. So we know, this is here to stay, right? But the question now is, now that we know that, is there an opportunity still here? Because that's what a lot of people are currently asking themselves, right? And you watching this are probably at the edge of your seat and thinking to yourself, I've had a good year, I've made a bit of money, or maybe I haven't made any money, but it looks like it's the end of the bull market. It looks like we're going to head back down now. It looks like, the game is over. But guys, and I say this all the time, the game is just getting started. The reality is now, with all the funds that are now getting involved, even if, so for example, if there was no major firms getting involved and it was still non-traditional investors, so mainly retail traders, these are people like just normal investors like you and I, etc., then a bear market's understandable, right? A bear market would be understandable because there's no way to sustain this growth, especially with profit taking occurring. However, as the funds get involved, as inflation continues to increase rapidly, not only will the stock market go up, property market, but the crypto market is likely to follow suit as well. And as this is quote unquote a new emerging asset class, the amount of gains, potential gains that this project, this new asset class has is mind-blowing, right? And I always like to keep things conservative. I've done videos like this before and I've always stopped at 9 trillion. always stopped at 9 trillion, just to match gold's current market cap, which is around 9 to 11 trillion dollars. So I've always stopped at that point to be pessimistic. But at this point, guys, and this is going to shock you all, and I've never said this before, so if you're watching this video, I'm saying this for the first time, this could become an over $50 trillion asset class by the end of this decade. And I know that's going to shock a lot of people. I know immediately I probably turned, people that assume to be logical and rational, probably like, you know what, I'm done. Bye. Right? Some of you that don't maybe know what to expect are just like, wow, that sounds crazy, right? And that sounds insane. But the reality is, guys, this literally becomes, just to make it, easier for all of you guys to understand, almost like a new stock market vehicle. This is the new, S&P 500, in my opinion. And this is obviously my opinion. And before I continue, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, click the bell notification icon so you can stay updated with all my recent videos. Remember, guys, nothing that you've seen in this video is financial advice. So always make sure to do your own independent research. Pause the video, click the link in my description, and join a Telegram group so you can stay updated with all my recent updates, news updates, technical updates, and much, much more. So that's how big I see this market becoming by the end of this decade. $50 trillion market cap product, and that for me is the most bullish case scenario. I would be happy to stop at I'd be happy to stop at that 10, 11 to 12 trillion dollar market cap, or we just peg it to gold. In fact, we can just do that. We'll peg this to gold over the short term, and then we see this overtake gold. Even that itself, we have a long way to go, and that of course would literally be the most pessimistic prediction ever, right? Because it will almost be like it would be, once we get to a certain market cap, a total market cap, then obviously it means price will just range and we will not see the gains that we're seeing now. But that 50 trillion market cap is a sweet spot, and hopefully this becomes iconic, this video, but we'll have to wait and see. And I'm not even going to back test and go back to, the 2018 closing at $1 trillion. And obviously we crashed all the way down to billion dollars. And then we crashed all the way down, back down to at its lowest point, 82 billion. And then a few years later, we're at over 2.1 trillion. Even if worst case scenario, this was to fall to, let's say, 1.5 trillion, let's even be more pessimistic. Let's say we were to fall back down to 1.2 trillion. Where do you think the next move will be? Upwards. So it's kind of a win-win situation. As long as you've got the right risk management, the right portfolio management, you are going to, it's almost, and I don't want to make guarantees because there are no guarantees, but you kind of set yourself up for life. I mean, let's be honest here. We are still very much early. Now let's get back to the winners and losers, just to conclude this video. So, winners and losers. Who are the winners? The winners aren't the people that, aren't even the people that, let's say, leave the market at the end of the year with, let's say, a few 100,000, maybe even a few million, etc. Believe it or not, they still may not be the winners. Small win, potentially. But panic selling, cashing out a few 100K, cashing out a few mil, I guess is a short-term win. But that doesn't define a winner. A winner is defined by, in this case, leaving the market, in my opinion, leaving the market with a substantial amount of profit, but enough profit to actually change your life. That for me is a definition of winning in this market. The winners are the people that can leave the market, but still, and I have to preface this as well, that still have profits running in the cryptocurrency space, but are still able to pull out a significant amount that still is enough to change their life, which means they don't completely remove themselves from the cryptocurrency market and just have cash, which again, you're going to suffer the same fate of inflation, etc. You know, but it's the ability to be able to literally, let's say even if you say you were to sell 30% or even 50% of your portfolio and still basically be able to change your life in a significant way and still have crypto on the side as well. The second winners are the people that and it's a more difficult way, is not timing the market, but people that are able to, for example, let's say your total portfolio value now is, let's say, 100k, and let's say you pull out, instead of pulling out 100% of your portfolio at the end of the year, you maybe pull out your initial gains. So you pull out your initial gains, but you still have the rest running, and you get to basically, so it's a win-win situation basically. That is literally, that's the definition of a win-win. You would no longer have any risk on the table, and your gains will just hopefully compound throughout the years without any significant risk. Those are the two case winners. Who are the losers? The losers are, quite obviously the people that get impatient, pull out of projects too early. So even though, yes, they may have made a profit, a nice, or a quote, maybe some people may deem, let's say, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 out the market, but panic selling. And here's the difference. I'm not talking about just taking profit out of the market. That's fine. I'm talking about people that are panic selling out the market, essentially destroying their future income for short-term fixes, right? For short-term gains, and etc. Right? Those are going to be the people that are going to be the biggest losers in this market. And I'll give you a classic real life example. So here's an example. If we look at Solana at the start of the year, we went from $1, well, less than $1 to around $20 in by March or something like that. Incredible gain, right? Now, again, there are people, because I actually know people that did exactly what I said from the win-win standpoint, where you've already made a fortune, right? Under $1, $20, you made a fortune. But they didn't sell all their coins. They left, let's say they were to cash out 80% and leave 20% on the side. They've got that immediate profit, but then they also have that 20%, and as you guys can see, Solana now is $170, $180 per coin. So that 20% now that 20% alone could completely change their life over the next few years. And not only that, they can do it without feeling uncomfortable about these market dips, because they've already pulled out some money out the equation. But the opposite are the people that sold their whole bag at $20, sold their whole bag, and then price continues to rally over to 180, right? So what am I saying here? I'm basically saying we are so early. We're so early. If you can buy into the right projects now, manage your risk properly, be able to, maybe cash out. Obviously, profit taking is completely healthy, but ensuring you're not panic selling, you are going to win long term. I hope that's clear. If it's not clear, leave a comment below, and I'll be happy to answer some of your questions. And don't forget, you can join Crypto Crew Premium, link in the description. But guys, the point remains, we're early. Sit on your hand. Let this play out. Let this ride out. The good times are ahead. Are ahead. Big time. Big. Gains are ahead. We are literally not even seeing the tip of the iceberg in the cryptocurrency space. But anyway, guys, we'll leave it there. For now, seize the day.